Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Political Hot Seat. We're into our last half hour. Once again, this is a live call-in show at 727-8750. The election is over. I hope everybody's happy with the way the election went. If you're not, well, you know what? We'll all survive through another one. I've been through quite a few of them that I've been happy with and I haven't been happy with. Obviously, people look at things differently than people do, so that's why this country is such a great country. We all have our own opinions. We all have our own ways. I know Harley's sitting here, and he was talking about the taxes and that, but see, and yet again, Harley and I are friends, and we could talk, and we can negotiate and do things like that. I'm a strictly anti-tax person. I don't think every dime they take out of my pocket is wasted. So, but, you know, some people say, how do you expect the country to survive? And I just say, well, it did for the first 150 years. Why can't it now?
Well, Bill, you know, it gets a little frustrating for me. You know, you and I are about the same age. When we were young men, you could go out and find a good job any day,
right.
A nice manufacturing, good paying job. And in fact, it wasn't too hard that your wife could still stay home and raise the family and all that. What happened? Well, our elected officials gave away all of our manufacturing to China, basically, and other countries. They undermined our country. And so, you know, the future of, a lot of people may be surprised, but it was actually in the 50s when service-oriented jobs surpassed manufacturing in this country.
Well,
and it got, you know, now of course it's tremendously bad. So it's a little frustrating sometimes to see that children have no future. And unless, you know, I mean, what kind of a country, as an example, pays people, able-bodied people, to sit home more money than if you went to work and got a job? I mean,
well, you know, the thing is when I went to school, which was back in the 50s, the United States was #1 in education. The United States was #1 in exports, #1 in manufacturing and everything.
We were a world leader in everything.
And when I got out of high school, you were able to walk into any place like Case Company, Industrial, you know, any of them. I went to work for a company called Eagle Signal. We built stoplights. My God, that would be unheard of today. We put all the parts and everything, made the hand come out and made it red, green, and yellow. You know, and anyway, there was International Harvester, there was Case Company, there was Farmall. I mean, and you were able to go down there, you got yourself a decent paying job to where you could raise a family, only on a high school education. And the thing is all that's gone now. I go back to that same area, and what buildings aren't torn down, they're just sitting there rotting away. And now it's just like John Deere's still got some plants back there. You know, Caterpillar, they moved over to someplace else in the state of Illinois, but I mean, Caterpillar's still going all right. John Deere's got one plant when they used to have 3 plants.
Well, you know, if the people want a wake-up call, go on usdebtclock.org. Go on the internet. If you forget that, just it's usdebtclock.org. If you forget it, just put in there US debt. And this clock's going to come up. It's a rectangle thing with all these things clicking off. Right. Well, the United States government's going in debt $2.5 billion more every day. They say that the national debt's like $17.5 trillion, but that's just the immediate debts that it owes. It actually owes over $60 trillion to pay all its debts. Yeah. There's no way in the world that we're going to reverse that. This country is going to collapse one day, and it's just a question of when, not if. And the Great Depression is going to look like prosperous times when this happens.
But see, that's what we're leaving our children. See, that's where I really feel bad because what I was born into, I can't even leave to my children. I mean, I can't keep it the same. I can't even make it as good, you know.
Well, when you and I were young, you know, and generations before us, the parents always wanted a better life for their children, and they were able to see that happen. And now it's the other way around, you know. Right. The children are having less than what the parents had.
Yeah, it's just a matter that I just don't believe I agree with you on perfectly healthy people. You know, working age, childbearing age, or whatever you want to put it, to where either one, they can't get a job, or two, they don't even want to work.
Well, so I mean, let's look at this real thing. All right, you have a woman that's divorced, to say 2, 3 kids. Well, she can sit home and provide for her children, basis off of you and I's taxes, She can literally, the federal government, the states administer it, but the federal government's the one that pays for the welfare. So she can go buy steaks, lobster, shrimp, all kinds of stuff, have a nice roof over her head, medical care for the children, or she can go get a job at Walmart for low wages and no benefits, next to nothing, and struggle to survive. Now, what would you do if you had children? You'd take the option that provides better for your children, wouldn't you?
That's what I'm saying. We're not offering that because we let everything slip away from us. I mean, it's we got to do something to create jobs to where a person can get married, can have children, and can have the American dream.
Bill, it's extraordinarily easy to fix our country. The United States government, instead of bailing, the United States government is still actually paying businesses to leave the country. That needs to stop. The second thing is bailing out all these failing businesses. That's wrong. What you do is they should have took the money and offered it to big corporations that wanted to move back to the United States and meet certain criteria, employ X amount of people, X amount of average wage, and so on. And then you put a tariff on foreign-made products that every year gets a little more expensive. So that makes it where people will want to bring their manufacturing back. But see, when you got politicians bought and paid for by major money, they don't care where they go make the stuff. They make it where it's the cheapest to make it, and then where they're going to make the most profit.
We're doing nothing to bring it back. Okay, well, we got a caller on the line. It's Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
Hi there.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, Bill, this is Dan. Just want to thank you for hosting the show and getting people to talk,
Oh, and congratulations, and I guess we just move forward from here, right?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Probably because I'm mumbling and I'm getting old and my mic probably don't work as good, but anyway, I said congratulations on the win, and we'll just move forward from here, and it was great having you on the show, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on. I'm really having a hard time here. I get bad signal out by my house. Just wanted to call and say hi and thanks for everything.
All right, you take care and God bless, and you have a wonderful holiday season before the new term starts. All right, Dan. Obviously, Dan Schinhofen. But anyway, what I was getting around to is we haven't left. My dad was in the Second World War, and he fought in the South Pacific, and of course, that was against Japan. And I remember as a teenager, my dad said to me, but see, he was with Ford Motor Company too, which he went over to Japan representing Ford Motor Company a couple of times. And my dad said to me, he says, if you ever have the money, you go out in the South Pacific, you buy an island, declare war against the United States, and when they come over, you surrender, and they'll build you an auto manufacturing plant.
All right.
And he said the day was coming where, and this is back when we had Studebaker, and we had Rambler, and we had all those guys, and he said the day is coming when the United States is going to be second rank.
Yeah, well, I wish we were number 2 or a lot less than that.
Yeah, and I thought.
I mean, look at the state of Nevada. In fact, I got a phone call about it recently because they were surprised that there are actually some Nevada people would like to see the Yucca Mountain utilized. Take nuclear energy. They use 15% of it and put it in storage. So, all these environmentalists are worried about pollution. So let's just use the 15% and store it all over the country. So instead of bringing it back here and recycling it so it's usable. Well, that's what they do in France. In other words, instead of having more and more nuclear waste sitting all over the country, they take it, recycle, and put it back out there so you have a minimal amount. Can you imagine the jobs and the money that it would bring to the state of Nevada? So how can the state of Nevada be against that?
I have no idea. The thing is, anything that creates a job, I believe that we need the jobs. And just like here in Pahrump or Nye County and that, we need businesses for people to be able to make a living. It's like you said, the person with 3 children. The whole thing kind of went away from what the family the power of the family or something? I mean,
Go look at that.
why does this woman have 3 children
Yeah, go look
that
at
she
that.
has to take care of by herself?
But go look at that debt clock, and you're going to see that Social Security and the military are the biggest debts, and boy, they really climb it. So, you got to, unfortunately, people like you and I are living longer and longer every day, and we're going to live off the system longer and longer when we get on Social Security and everything. And then you got more and more people living off of welfare every day. And then, of course, the government protects the wealthy, so they take their money to the Cayman Islands. They move their corporation headquarters to some other country, and they don't have to pay all kinds of taxes anymore. So what's going to happen is my vision is that those Road Warrior movies, well, in those Road Warrior movies, you don't see it, but obviously there's somebody out there that's got plenty of money and power, and certain people serve their needs. But the movie focuses on the masses of people just killing each other to survive for food and water. That's the future of the world. Is it today, 50 years from now? I don't know, but it's coming.
Well, maybe, well, something's got to happen. They got to change something.
Well, it has to. How can we go in debt $2.5 billion more every single day? How many people would that put through college? What kind of people do we elect to office to put this country in debt more, $2.5 billion more every day? We could send everybody to college for free. We could do all kinds of things. But no, they'd rather just borrow more money. Well, eventually it's all going to collapse. You can't keep borrowing more than $2.5 billion more every day.
All right, Harley, I guess we're getting ready to go to a break.
Again?
We'll be right back after this
I think he's
message.
speeding up the clock.
Yeah, he's